Evening peeps, welcome back to the channel. Tell me if my sounds are alright. I've not touched them since last time, so they should be fine. I think we are going to be a little bit delayed tonight. One or two guys have not struggled to get back from work, but they've come back from work a little bit late, and they still have the download to do, or the update. So we may be just hanging about before quali starts. Potter McPot, the lobby host, just saying, just waiting for some. So we'll just hang about for a second. Let me just finish posting up the race. Post that there. One more to do. Where have you gone? There you are. Boom shakalaka. Post that. Oh no, there's one more to do. Hold on. Where's he gone? Team Oliver Racing. So Team Oliver Racing, that is TOR. This season is sponsored by TOR. Team Oliver Racing. They are mental cases who race lorries. Chrissy, evening. Thank you for that. Thank you for telling me my sound's good. Alright, let me just chuck a post up in here too. On the TOR website. Bish bash bosh. Let's hope they come and check in. So Chrissy Raz, who's just popped up in the chat, you will see her on track tonight, hopefully pointing that BMW in the right direction. Less water on the track tonight, Chrissy, so might be a little bit easier for you guys. It was a bit of a drift fest last week. It was Red Bull in the wet. So tonight we've got two races, similar format to last week. So it is the sprint race and then the feature. The first race is of 15 laps. I forget how long the second race is because I wasn't paying attention to the post when it came up. It's going to take me forever and a day to find it, but here we go. So race one, 15 laps. They'll have full fuel and they can use any tyres between racing softs and racing hards. There's no need for a pit stop. They can if they want. And then it's a reverse grid into race 2 tonight. How many laps is that? 24 lap race. They start with 70 litres of fuel, which is 70% of the tank. You've got to use 2 different compounds of tyre, so that's compulsory. You have to swap between racing softs or mediums, whichever, but you have to use two different types of tyre. And you aren't allowed to enter the pits until lap 6 for race 2. I know you didn't do bad. You kept it in a pretty straight line, actually, Chrissy. I'll give you that. So race 2, the top 3 from race 1 have to add in a little bit more weight for race 2, just to make it a little bit more competitive. If they're running away with it at the front from race 1, well, we're going to stop that straight away with a great big dump of sand or something in there. It is only digital clicks, but it does affect the car. So I think the leader gets 5 clicks, P2 gets 4 clicks, and P3 gets 3 clicks of extra weight for race 2. So if you just bear with me, we are still out in a bit of a practice. As I say, we are waiting for one or two drivers. While we are waiting, let's run through the standings so far. So TNR Philo, last year's champ. Yes, I know, Chrissy. I was just having a bit of a wind up because of the wet race last week and all the spinny round jokes that were rolling about on the group chat. And it turned out that everyone was just happy drifting it. So there are your standings currently after round 3. TNR Philo leading. He was last season's champion as well. Potter McPot in second place, only 2 points behind on 110. TNR Philo being on 112. In third place, we've got GT Deli B, 74 points. He's doing all right in this league so far. Zuzim's in fourth position. Unfortunately, he can't make tonight's race due to unforeseen circumstances. Bit of a shout going out to you, Zuzims, for that. I can imagine it's a bit of a tough time. And on a similar note, I know he's never going to listen to this, but a quick shout out to Dave Callahan as well. He's got work, he's been helping me out with a lot of stuff, and now he's going through the shit. So a big shout out to Dave. Hope you're feeling all right, mate. I can imagine that's a tough time also. So yeah, Zuzim's in fourth, Pav 46 in fifth on 64 points, and then we have Chrissy Raz, the lady herself, in the chat. She is currently 6th position with 61 points, equal on points to Marty VR actually. He's also on 61 points, but sitting in 7th. And then in 8th place we've got MRC Bobby. 9th place is Louis 78. 10th place is MRC Dangly Ball. And then if we jump to the second half of the table, we've got Diablo, our Australian counterpart, in 11th on 28 points. MRC Buddy on 25 points. VLX Chewy, he's not been in a few races, but I think he's here tonight. Yes, he's in the room. He is currently on 24 points, and sitting right at the back, old Burnt Fry. I think he's actually ducked out of this league now, but he's sitting right at the back on 13 points. So let's just have a quick look at the Pro-Ams as well. So there are 2 lobbies open tonight. We've got the Pro, which you'll be watching live with me, and then we've got Adey Gee, fastest Dane. Yes, you are. Did we not agree you were also the slowest Dane, Chrissy? Let's not get into that. So we have got 2 lobbies open tonight. We've got the Pro lobby you're watching with me live, and also running live alongside this is Adey Gee. He's got the commentary running for the Pro-Am lobby. So if you want to go and check him out, go and have a look. Adey Gee on YouTube. Don't stop there for long. A quick hello and then get yourself back here. Stop messing about. You can always go and check out Adey Gee's thing afterwards. But yeah, I will put links in description to Adey Gee's channel. I will put links in description to all the different sim racing groups. We have got 4 different sim racing groups tonight. Let me just run through the Pro-Am standings while they're up. So Jambu's leading this one, 113 points. 1 point back from him is Joe Winner on 112. Got Purzel on 87 in third, NGR Robinson in fourth on 83, and fifth NGR Danzo 58. My mate CJW Racing on 49 points in 6th place. NGR Cutler in 7th with 48. NGR E30 and 16. Oh, that's a bit strange. It's got him down as 16 points, but he's in 8th. And then right below him is Big Les Kun on 28 points in 9th. So I think there might be a little bit of a mistake on that one. Okay, so Potter just saying he's about to start quali, so let's quickly run through the rest of these stand-ins. Big Les Kun, as I say, in 9th. Pilgrim Paddy in 10th. Let's just have a look at the bottom. Oh, interesting. Pilgrim Paddy's also in 11th, so well done, Pilgrim. I don't know how you've managed that, but excellent work. So Graham Reed's in 12th or 11th, depending which Pilgrim Paddy we kick out. And then sitting at the back is Sean 184 on 14 points. So that's current standings up until round 3 last week. Say this is round 4 from Brands Hatch. Just having things changed all over the place. Yeah, Chrissy, you know, you're the only Dane in the league, therefore you are the only Dane, the fastest Dane, and the slowest Dane. You can't disagree with me. That's an impossibility. I'm just speaking fact. So let's get ourselves into this lobby before we miss too much. Let's get the usual gubbins on for you guys. And Chrissy, stop talking to me and pay attention to your lap. Who's that just gone spinning off in the background? May have been MRC Bobby going a little bit backwards. I think it was. Thank you for the stickers on the sides and back of your car. So plenty of sponsors for this one tonight. We've got David Appleby Engineering, we've got TOR, that's Team Oliver Racing. Big shout out to Michael and Stuart for that, for sponsoring this season. We've got Excite Energy Drinks, we've got Corbeau race seats, we have Thrustmaster equipment, we've got GT Amiga equipment, and there's something else I'm missing. Thrustmaster, GT Amiga, what's the other one? Come on peeps, I'll forget. Joyce Designs as well, big shout out to Joyce Designs. I'm going to have to pay attention to someone's car to look for the extra, what is it, Excite Energy Drinks? Corbeau, Thrustmaster, GT Amiga, TOR, David Appleby, Joyce Designs. I think I've got them all. Anyway, so let's go up to the front. The lady herself, Chrissy Raz. So she is first out on track, and she's going to be the first person to put a hot lap in. So around the last turn then, let's just keep an eye on her and see what she's got. She puts in a 122.9. Right, let's see what everyone else is putting in. Potter comes across the line with a 122.2, so takes provisional pole. VLX Chewy in the Aston. He's just chucked himself into second with a 122.9 as well. 0.08 of a second quicker than Chrissy Raz. Dangly Ball on a 124.0. Oh, GT Deli B's just chucked himself into second with a 122.5. He's quarter of a second back from Potter. So let's go to Chrissy Raz, Dangly Balls. He's now down in 6th, unfortunately. Pab's just chucked in a good time as well. He's put in a 122.7. Driving the Audi tonight is Pav. So he's chucking himself into 3rd. So past MRC Dangly Ball, then down to Marty VR on a 124.0. MRC Bobby 125.4. Darren Moss, new driver for tonight. So we'll keep our eye on him. Yet to go out on track. And then Louis 78 also just hitting the track as well. As I say, I think we are waiting for one or two. Sean, evening mate, how you doing? Stickers arrived. Good. Glad to hear it. As I say, I think we are waiting for one or two drivers who have come back late from work and are just fighting to get the update in. So, all as is so far. Oh, GT Deli B's just done a quick time. 122.215. That puts him almost half a second. Oh, Pav's just smacked him up though. So Pav chucks himself into provisional pole with a 121.7. That's a good lap, Pav. GT Deli B still putting in purple sectors as well. So he's obviously liking this track and this car. It's a good combination for him. Been pushed down to 3rd then with that 122.2. It is only a 15-minute quali and then into race 1. Race 1 is 15 laps and then we go into a reverse grid race for race 2 and that's going to be 24 laps. So Chrissy Raz has bettered her time slightly, still in 5th though. 122.9. Oh, she's gone a bit quicker again. 122.971. So she's just pipped VLX Chewy, taken that 8 thousandths of a second and thrown it the other way. Chewy F1, I think he's streaming, just wait for that to disappear, I think he's streaming his race live on Twitch, Chewy F1 on Twitch, if you fancy going checking out the race from his point of view. But don't do that, stick around. You don't just want to see Chewy's race, do you? Right, Pav's up the front then, 121.7. GT Deli B's gone a bit quicker with that 122.1, and that puts him within 0.3 of a second of Pav. Potomac Pot still managed to beat that 122.294 yet. So Chrissy Raz, we've just chatted about, pipped VLX Chewy by 8 thousandths. What have I told you about keeping that car in a straight line? And you, Bob, in the background, think you think you'd got to get away with a bit of drift through there? You didn't, Sawyer. Considering we've only been doing 7 minutes of quali, Bobby's car's looking pretty beaten up already. So Potomac Pot then, he's just come out on a fresh set of tyres, looking to better that time. GT Deli B is going to do the same thing. Marty VR's also in. So let's see if we can go on board for a lap with GT Deli B. So we haven't missed the first turn, but he's up to Druids. It might not be a fast one because it is an out lap, so he might just be taking his time on these tyres. Where are we now? Graham Cooper Straight then. So he fires himself down the Cooper Straight into Surtees. And hard on the power, all the way up towards Pilgrim's Drop and under the bridge. I don't know, Sean, to be honest. I don't know. So up through Hawthorns then, into Hawthorne Bend. Derek Minter Straight through Westfield, down towards Dingle Dell. These corners are not my favourites. So into Dingle Dell Corner then, through into Stirling's. Hard on the power again down Clearways. And then into the Clark Curve to end the lap. Easy to run wide through that last turn there. As I say, this won't be a quick one. He has just left the pits as the GT Deli B, so yeah, 125.4. Wasn't expecting it to be a super quick lap. So let's just run through the order again quickly. Pav still holding that top spot. 0.8 of a second. He's gone quicker. 121.292. So 0.8 of a second faster than anyone else on track at the minute. GT Deli B currently the closest rival. Cliche, evening brother, how you doing mate? Thank you for stopping in. Oh my god, I'm all tangled. So Potomac Pot in third, still unable to beat that 122.2. VLX Chewy has pipped Chrissy Raz again. So back up to fourth for Chewy. 0.3 of a second gap over Chrissy now. Chrissy in fifth has got 0.1 over the new driver Moss 1984. So yeah, we'll have to keep our eye on this guy, see how he gets on. His first night in the GR3s. Very competitive league, this one as well. Marty BR pushed down to 7th now, 123.3. Louis in 8th with the 123.5. MRC Dangly Ball, and the other Audi driver, not managing to beat that 124.0. Holding a little bit of damage as well, so damage is also on heavy in this league. That's good to hear, Cliche. That's good to hear. Yeah, so any damage on the car, they will have to come in and get it repaired. It won't repair itself as they go around. Depending on what the damage is, it will slow them down dramatically. So back out in the pits for MRC Dangly Ball. MRC Bobby then pushed down to 10th. So having a bit of a nightmare in the BMW tonight is our Bob. He physically hasn't got a hot lap on the board yet, so I think Bobby's just maybe cutting one or two many corners on his laps. He's only got 4 minutes to put a lap in. So it looks like Pav's sitting this one out to the end, possibly. I can pretty much guarantee he's disappeared off for a smoke. GT Adey Gee then, still holding that second. Pot only just under 0.2 of a second back. He's rocking the TOR livery to the max. That's Team Oliver Racing. They are the sponsors for this season, providing goodie bags, I hear, as well for the winners. So Chrissy Raz, I didn't see that. Chrissy Raz has put in a stormer, 122.2 for Chrissy. That chucks her into third place on the grid currently. Only 3 minutes left in quali as well. Pot's come back in the pits. He's taking on board fuel. I don't know why he's taking on board fuel, but getting his car repaired. Last ditch effort for Potter then. VLX Chewy pushed down to 5th then. Moss still in 6th. He's looking to get a fresh set at the end of this quali. Burnt a bit of fuel off, looking to go quicker. So Marty VR 7th, 123.3 on that lap 4. Louis still on that 123.5, also on lap 4. MRC Dangly Ball struggling lap 2, 124.0. MRC Bobby, Bobby, you got a blue one, 124.0 as well. Still at the back of the pack, but a blue one nonetheless. Pav's also back out of the pits as well now. So this will be an outlap. This won't be a super quick one, although he is holding current fastest lap in quali, which puts him at the front. So this will be his last-ditch effort to try and keep that pole position. Still holding 0.8 over GT Delhi. He's not managed to better his 122.1 yet. So only 13 thousandths faster than Potter McPot is Chrissy Raz. Likes keeping those gaps tight. VLX Chewy now putting in purple sectors. Let's see if he can keep putting those in. That's that next timing mark. Coming up pretty much as he hits the bottom of the hill. Blip. Oh, he's a bit slower. No more purple sectors for Chewy there. Let's just keep an eye on the next one and see how he gets on. No, losing a little bit more time there for Chewy. Dipping his wheels on the grass like that is not going to help one little bit. So Moss 1984 then, looking reasonably confident in the Audi. RTVR still in 7th, Louis still in 8th. Dangly Ball has put a faster time in, but unfortunately still in 9th position, and Bob's still on that 124.0. So it looks like Pav's quite happy with that one. He's going to park it up for the rest of the race. GT Adey Gee, he's gone a bit quicker, 122.0. Still not quite quick enough to take that position off of Pav 46. Potter McPot put himself back in 3rd position with a 122.1 as well. Just pipping Chrissy Raz. VLX Chewy looks like he might have squeezed one more out. So we are over the 15-minute qualifying time. And the host may start the race before some of these guys finish their hot laps. Philo's joined late. You like calling it a bit close as well, don't you, Philo? Flipping heck. So there must be some chat going on behind the scenes for the quali to be extended to allow these guys to jump in. So TNR Philo's going to join this qualifying lobby. He will start with a full tank of fuel in qualifying, so I don't know whether he'll be able to do anything if he gets a chance to even get out on track. It's not looking good, so Potter McPot telling him to get on track pretty damn quick. And then we can start the race. So I think we are missing Big Les Kun as well. And I can imagine there's one or two drivers missing out of the Pro-Am lobby. Langley Ball holding a bit more damage. Yeah, coming in the pits for that one. So Bobby's put in a bit of a quick lap. What's Bobby done? He's putting a 1:22.5, chucks himself into 6th position. Moss has gone up a position as well. He's gone a bit quicker, 1:22.4, 6th for him. Chewy's still in 5th, Chrissy's still in 4th. Still trying to put these hot ones in then. So yeah, it looks like they've just hung about, waited for TNR Philo. Don't know how long Big Les Kun is going to be, if he's even joining this lobby. GT Sport Freak, whoever you are, thank you for subscribing. It's just popped up on my phone, appreciated. This is it then, Potter started race 1, 15 laps. They will start with a full tank of gas, and they can use any tyres between racing soft and racing hard. They don't have to pit unless they want to, although that will probably compromise their race. So, oh, we've got grid issues. Pav has decided to turn his hydraulics to maximum. So I think we'll have to wait for this race to start and then jump back out, reset the lobby. So the revs are up. Everyone's got to avoid Pav, who's doing an endo on the start line. Yeah, Potter McPot slowing down there. I think he's just going to allow... he's going to start... So we have only got 8 drivers in. So I think Potter McPot has already left the room. He's going to wait for everyone else to disappear out. Yeah, we're down to 7 drivers now, so I'm going to exit this lobby also. Potter McPot is just saying a restart. Pav is still stuck on the grid, pulling whatever manoeuvres he's pulling there, look. Stop playing with those controls. Oh, PlayStation. Oh, Gran Turismo. Come on now. So, we've got to have a bit of a race restart. Potter probably have to reset the grid order by hand. So there will be 11 drivers on track. I don't think we're going to see any more before the race starts. And when we are down for a second, I'm going to brown fizzy pop myself. Other brown fizzy pops are available. You like that? That was nice, wasn't it, Scott? It's Pav playing with his hydraulics, mate. Why aren't you racing anyway, Scott? Did you get up late? Did you not do the update? Scott. Right, so we will have to wait for everyone to rejoin. Chrissy, man, what are you doing? Chrissy's just popped up in the PlayStation chat telling Pav to put more downforce on the rear. I think he needs to let the helium balloons out the back, Chrissy. So come on then, Scott, give us your excuses. Why you're not racing? Scott in the chat there is actually Diablo. He's meant to be racing tonight. I'm not even sure if you were here last week, were you? I can't remember. So who are we missing? Nobody. Everyone's in the room. 11 drivers. I think, as I say, I think we're just waiting for Potter McPot to reset grid order. Let's see if everyone can keep four wheels on the ground. So here we go. Try two. So Pav will lead us away if he can keep all four wheels on the ground. So far so good. Pav in P1, GT Daily B in P2, Potter in P3, Chrissy Raz in P4, Chewy in 5, Moss in 6, Marty VR in 7, Louis 8, Louis 8, Dangly Ball in 9th, MRC Bobby 10th, and Philo unfortunately at the back of the pack. So stick with these. I can't see the lights actually on this track. Revs are up and they're off. Oh, Chrissy Raz has not had a great start. So Darren Moss 1984 has got the jump on her already. Pav then keeps his first position. GT Deli B's losing a couple of spots, so always lost one spot. Potter McPot's managed to get past him. VLX Chewy's up into 4th, Moss into 5th. Chrissy Raz coming under a bit more pressure from Marty VR for 6th. She will have the inside line through here though. Keep that position from Marty VR. So Chrissy Raz 7th, Chrissy Raz 6th, Marty VR 7th, Louis in 8th. MRC Bobby 10th, TNR Philo's made a place up, he's up into 10th already, and Dangly Balls unfortunately is at the back of the pack. So let's watch them through this first lap. Pav 46 quite comfortably out in front, 0.7 of a second lead already. Potter McPot in 2nd, GT Deli B in 3rd. Half a second back from Potter McPot. VLX Chewy 0.3 of a second back from that fight. Moss 1984 has just dipped a wheel on the grass and spun himself around. He's back pointing the right way. He has only lost one position. He's not got any damage either, so lucky there for Moss. Only losing one position, but now he's right off that fight he was in with the guys at the front. Now coming under a bit of pressure from MRC Bobby behind. Bobby himself is coming under pressure from TNR Philo, last season's champion. Who's that run himself wide? Was that Marty VR? I think it was, just sticking a wheel on the grass. That slowed him right down. So Philo making a move down the inside of Druids on Bobby. Oh, keep that car straight, Philo. Bobby's going to come back at him. He's going to have the inside line through this turn. Side by side through there. A little bit of a love tap between those two, but nothing dramatic. So Louis now in 9th in the Jag. MRC Dangly Ball in 10th. And Chrissy Raz, unfortunately. I didn't see what happened to Chrissy, but now down at the back of the pack. So Pav 46 still leads us through. He's got almost a second over Potter in 2nd place. He's almost got a second over GT Deli B, so the time's just starting to stretch out a little bit. VLX Chewy almost a second back from GT Deli, and then a big gap back to Marty VR, 2.7 seconds that gap he's got. Now Moss 1984 coming under pressure from TNR Philo as they head down to this last turn before the start finish straight. He's kept it so far. Oh, he's run himself wide. That's terrible for Moss. That's terrible for Moss. He's now down in 9th. He might even lose this position to MRC Dangly Ball. MRC Dangly Ball coming at full race pace, whereas Moss 1984 isn't. So Audi versus Audi. MRC Dangly Ball taking 9th position currently, but Marty looks like he's going to go for a move back. Druids, he does takes that position straight back. And Chrissy Raz, I'm not sure what's happened to Chrissy, but she is now 20.4 seconds back. So that's unfortunate. I'm not sure whether she stuck a wheel on the grass also and did a pirouette. So back up to the race leaders. Zaf, evening mate, how you doing? Your stickers are in the post, my friend. So Pav and Potter have managed to make a little bit of a break. Potter's managed to close the gap on Pav down to 0.3 of a second. He's kept that gap over GT Delhi B by a second. GT Delhi B has actually made up a little bit of time over VLX Chewy. Oh, Chewy's got 2 wheels on the grass. That's going to slow him right down, losing no end of time now. He's lost about 0.4, 0.5 of a second through that little mistake. So 4th place for VLX Chewy. Marty VR still holding 5th. Managing to fend off TNR Philo. Although he's got a good run out the start, finish straight. He's got the toe as well off Marty VR. Will he be able to get the position done before turn 1? Stuck his nose out, but I think a little bit too far back. But will he get a move done into Druids? Again, he decides against that one. Oh, a little bit of contact between Marty VR and TNR Philo. MRC Bobby's not out of that fight. He's only 0.6 of a second back. Oh, something's happened to Moss as well. Oh, he ran off track, didn't he? Yeah, so he's down in 10th position then. Chrissy Raz has made up a bit of time. 8 seconds back from Moss. So still positions to be had. It is quite a short race, this one, as I say. It's only 15 minutes. We are into the 5-minute mark already. So back up to this battle at the front. Let's go for a bit of onboard action with Potter McPot. Not happy with that camera angle. I want that one. Oh, Pav's just stuck a wheel on the grass, spun himself out. Potter McPot is promoted up into P1. GT Delhi B follows him through. Pav is back on circuit, so it looks like he did a pirouette and got back on track. TNR Philo, God blimey Philo, what on earth have you been playing at? Up to 4th, managed to get past VLX Chewy D and Louis. On a fly then TNR Philo currently. VLX Chewy in 5th, coming under a little bit of pressure from Louis behind. Aston versus Jag, it's the British fight out right here. Although they're probably both owned by Indian or Japanese companies by now, who knows. Louis still in 8th, 6th, looking to take that place off Chewy. Runs himself a little bit wide. MRC Bobby still not that far back. He's lost a bit more time, 1.2 seconds. Dangly Ball 8th. He's got Marty VR for company. So Marty VR in 9th, then putting the pressure on MRC Dangly Ball as they head up Hawthorns through Pilgrims. So Moss then 13 seconds back from that fight. Chrissy Raz unfortunately not managing to make any headway into Moss's time currently. Nearly 7 minutes gone in this race, almost at the halfway point. So back up to the front, Potter McPot leading, 0.3, 0.4 of a second over GT Delhi B in 2nd. And then there's half a second back, or just less, 0.3 of a second to Pav, who we did see just spinning around a minute ago. So let me see if we can... Let's just go on board with Potter McPot and look at the 2 drivers behind. Oh, I like your spoiler, Potter, that's very pretty. So Potter McPot then being chased down by GT Delhi B and Pav 46 behind. He has made a little bit of time up over GT Delhi B. He's got that to 0.6 of a second. Purple sector as well for Potter. GT Delhi B is pretty close to him though, closing in. He's got that to less than half a second now. Duco, evening brother, how you doing mate? So still less than half a second between GT and Potter. Let's just flick back to the gap between GT Delhi B and Pav. So that's 0.8 of a second, but Pav's still not out of this fight yet. closing the gap in on GT Delhi B there through the last couple of turns. Pot extending a little bit, 0.8 of a second. Let's just look when, so Pav did fastest lap currently, he did that on lap 2. He has put in a 1:21.2 there, but he must have picked up a bit of a penalty because it's not counted. So, still as is, about 0.8 between Potter and GT Delhi, 0.8 between Pav and GT Delhi B as well. TNR Philo 4.4 seconds back from these guys. He's made up a fair old chunk of time over VLX Chewy, 3.4 seconds down the road from Chewy already. Louis is in 6th position, 3.9 seconds back from Chewy D. MRC Bobby's got himself up into 7th, 2.1 back from Louis. Get it back on the black stuff, Bobby. Marty VR 8th then, 2.2 back from Bobby. He's got a big old back gap back to MRC Dangly Ball, 10.1. And then Moss 1984, who decided to spin himself off track in 10th position. And Chrissy Raz, unfortunately, sitting at the back of the pack on the racing mediums. Could be strategic by Chrissy, who knows? She could be looking to get pole position for race 1, although it would. She won't actually have to put any extra weight on either, which might benefit her. Sitting at the front with less weight than the faster drivers at the back. Or the faster drivers from race 1 anyway, so back to Potter. He's managed to extend that gap a little bit, 1.1 seconds, 1.2 now over GT Delhi B. 10 minutes into this race, oh no, apologies, it's a 15 lap race, not a 15-minute race. I do keep getting confused. I did 2 seasons of times and now they change it to laps. Pot's just run himself wide. That's going to allow GT Delhi B to get a storming run on him down here. The gap coming down rapidly. Less than half a second then. It was almost 1.5 seconds. Losing a second there, Potter. Down to 0.3. GT Delhi B will get an amazing tow through some of these sections now. So Pot just got to be a little bit careful from the attack behind from GT Delhi. Pav's not out of this yet. He's less than a second back from GT Delhi B. Ooh, nearly lost that Audi though. So rear tyre wear on that Audi's looking pretty brutal. May want to think about adjusting your brake balance there, Pav. So TNR Philo's still 4.2 back. He has decided to come in the pits for a fresh set. Oh, so Louis making a move on VLX Chewy then. Side by side. Oh, that was a bit unfortunate. Louis looking to get in the pits. VLX Chewy just trying to dive down the inside at the same time. So a little bit of a shame for Louis. He might have been compromised a little bit there, but difficult to tell the driver next to you what you're doing. They might be in a group chat, they might be in a party chat, I don't know. But I can imagine they're probably not. So Marty VR in 8th, he's come out on a fresh set of racing softs. They don't have to pit in this one. It's optional. It's entirely up to them whether they do or not. So he's out on a fresh set of softs, dangly balls, fresh set of mediums. Moss has gone for some softs. Chrissy Raz has gone for some softs. Pot is still out on those softs, as is GT Delhi B. As is Pav 46. I got 10 seconds over 4th place man TNR Philo. He is out on fresh rubber. Bringing that time down pretty quickly as well, 9.7. Let's see if he can close the gap to the 3 in front. Possibly put it on him. So Chewy then out on softs as well. To 5th. Bobby in 6th. Oh, holding front end damage, and his tyres looking a bit smashed in. I wasn't sure if he was going in the pits. I don't even think he was sure if he was going in the pits then. 6th place currently for Bobby. Can he run to the end of the race on those tyres? Not if he's driving on the grass, he can't. Louis in 7th then. He's got 2.5 seconds in front to Bobby. He's only got 1.2 back, 1.3 now to Marty VR. Mercedes driver behind. Closing that gap a little bit. There's a big old gap back to MRC Dangly Ball, 6.3 seconds. And then we've got 8.1 back to Moss. Chrissy Raz, unfortunately, now 20.8 seconds back from anybody. So GT Delhi B still keeping Potter under pressure, 0.7 of a second. And they've both managed to drop Pav a little bit, so maybe Pav's got another wheel on the grass. Just lost the back end of that Audi a little bit, maybe lost a bit of time. So 1.6 seconds back is then Pav from GT Delhi B and Potter McPot. Yeah, I think that Audi's just getting a bit drifty now. Those rear tyres are gone. TNR Philo's closing in as well. He's now, what's he gained? Nearly 3 seconds on Pav. He's got 4 laps left as well. Ooh, keep it straight, TNR. So Chewy well out of that fight, 5.8 seconds back. Bringing the time down a little bit. But I don't think he's going to bring it down quick enough to get back into podium positions. He had a good start as well, VLX Chewy. Got off the line well. Made up a position or two. And then just slowly made it the odd mistake. Dropped it back down. So Marty VR currently holding 6th. Oh, Louis on the grass. Hazards on. So it looks like there might have been contact between Bob and Louis, because Bob slowed right down as well. So I think Louis and Bobby. Oh, Louis is all damaged. Oh, Louis is all damaged. MRC Bobby's a little bit damaged as well. So I think MRC Bobby is doing the very decent thing. I think he may have caused that bit of an incident and caused Louis to gain all that damage. And rather than just running off with it, he's just tucked in behind. Kind of know he did wrong. Can't just go storming off with Louis being all damaged. It's a bit of a shame, really. But it's a respectable thing to do, so big props up to Bob for doing that. I mean, he could have flown past him at any point. But he's sticking behind Louis while Louis gets himself to the pits. I think Bob's going to come in as well and follow him back out. So decent thing to do there, Bob. Respect for you there, mate. So this might give Chrissy Raz a bit of a look. She might be able to get a position or two here. She does jump up into 9th. But I think that's going to be all she wrote for Chrissy. She's still 19 seconds back from 8th place Dangly Ball. So we've got Bobby and, yeah, so Bobby, looks like Bobby did cause that incident, but very respectable to pull over like that. Let Louis creep round, get his car repaired and still come out behind him. You know, it's wrecked Bob's race, but rules is rules. And if he hadn't done that, there would have been after race penalties or possibly a grid penalty next week. And that's what we want. We want the sort of respect between the drivers. And it has been pretty clean so far. There's 1 or 2 incidents which can't be helped, but yeah, big props to Bob for that. I'm going to keep the camera on you for a little bit, Bob. Screw what's happening at the front. Now that's too long. So back up to the race leader, Potter McPot, 2.3 seconds up the road from GT Delhi B currently. We're on to lap 13 of 15, so not long left. Don't think GT Delhi B is going to be able to close that gap, 2.2 seconds. He's also managed to gain 2.3 over Pav. But then look here, TNR Philo, 1.5 seconds back from Pav. Can Pav fend off TNR Philo for another 2 laps? Let's just have a look at Pav's. Oh, Pav, I don't think you will, not with those tyres, mate. Philo's got that gap down to a second. He's also got fastest lap of the race with a 1:21.2. So, oh, chaos. Oh, Pav spun it on turn 1. And he's collected TNR Philo at the same time. Philo's back on track. He's holding a bit of wheel damage, but up into third. Chewy D has managed to get past Pav as well, and he's right on the rear bumper of TNR Philo come the last couple of laps of this race. So can VLX Chewy get a move done? He's looking to make a move down the inside as they head towards Surtees. He has got the inside line as well. So up into third currently, but TNR Philo side by side with him as they run up Hawthorns. TNR Philo, if he can keep his car there, he will have the inside line. He's just took back in though. I think that wheel damage just causing him a little bit of grief at top speed, just unsettling the car maybe. So Chewy up into third then. Can he now fend off TNR Philo for a lap and a half? Philo's looking pretty dangerous though. He does like to drift that BMW. He did it all last week in the wet. So Potter McPot looking quite comfortable then as he rolls around last lap. 2.5 seconds over GT Delhi B. And they've now got 10.3 seconds over VLX Chewy in third. So this is it, last lap for the boys. Can TNR Philo get that position back off of Chewy D? So Pav's coming in the pits then, last lap. Taking on a smidge of fuel and some fresh tyres. So he does keep himself out in 5th, but miles off the fight now between VLX and TNR Philo. So Marty VR 6. Under a bit of pressure from Dangly Ball behind, half a second between those pair. So Chrissy Raz 8th then. MRC Bobby 9th. He's managed to get himself back past Louis and cleanly as well by the look of it. Louis bringing up the back of the pack. I think we've lost a driver. I don't know who that was. I forget who's disappeared. Oh, is it? Yeah, it is. Moss 1984's decided to duck out. So, oh, where have I gone? Potter McPot then comes across the line. Massive great handbrake into the wall for Potter. Thank you, sir. First place for Potter. Second place for GT Delhi B. Into the wall. Thank you, sir. VLX Chewy. Great big handbrake. Great big handbrake. Oh, and nothing from TNR Philo either. You could have done a simultaneous, like what's it called? Synchronized handbrake. It would look beautiful, but no. So TNR Philo in 4th. Pav, unfortunately, coming home in 5th. He's holding 3rd for literally that whole race. He led it for flipping a lot of it. So 5th place for Pav. Marty VR just around the last turn now. 6th place for Marty VR. Come on, boys. Throw some handbrakes in there. MRC Dangly Ball. 7th place. No handbrake for Dangly Balls as well. I expect to see handbrakes in this second race, people. Chrissy Raz in 8th then. Had a bit of an unfortunate race for Chrissy. You'll have to let me know what happened at the start of that one. Yes, handbrake into the wall. Almost into the camera. Appreciated. And Bobby. Whoop, whoop. Love it. And then Louis coming home in 10th. And as I say, we've lost Moss 1984 from this one. There he is sitting at the bottom. Did not finish. So that was race 1 of 2. The drivers, the top 3 drivers from that one. So Potter, VLX Chewy and GT Delhi B will have to add a little bit more weight on their car. A little bit of weight on their car for race 2. Everyone complaining about Marty VR lagging. Bobby agrees. Moss is saying he accidentally drove him off track. Oops. So possibly why Moss left the room then. Oh, he's still in the lobby, so he might join in race 2. Let's hope so. It's good to see he's not just disappeared out of the lobby. So we're going to have about 10 minutes, plenty of time for us to have a chat if you want to chat. If not, I'm going to roll a cigarette, drink some pop, talk to myself. Tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to chuck up the stand-ins again. So, Philo. Good race for Philo. Starting at the back of the pack because he came late. Fought his way through. And he was up to third. That's a bit of a shame. VLX Chewy got him back. No Zuzims tonight. Who else are we missing? No Buddy tonight either. Burnt Fry, I think Burnt Fry's left the championship. MRC Buddy can't make it. Diablo, what happened to you? You didn't tell me what had happened, Mr. Scott Barlow from Australia. It wasn't great, Chrissy. I don't know what happened to you in the first couple of laps, but you ended up pretty far back. Didn't actually catch anything on camera. I don't know whether you just had a little spin off track. It didn't look like you got any damage. Yeah, so we've got about 10 minutes for a bit of a chat until race 2. Reverse grid, 24 laps for race 2 as well. They start with 70 litres of fuel. They do have to pit. And they have to use 2 different compounds of tyre as well in race 2. As I say, front 3 from this race have extra clicks of weight added to their car. That's a success bonus. Just flick back to this. Are we missing anyone from here? No Louis, is there? Oh yeah, Louis in the room. Of course he is. MRC Bobby, Chrissy Browns, Pav. Yeah, no Zuzims, Deli B, TNR Philo. Oh yeah, it's not the best of tracks for myself anyway. There's a lot of runoff. Very easy to stick a wheel on the grass, as we've seen a couple of drivers do tonight. Spin themselves off. Let's just have a look who's in the Pro-Ams. So we've got Jambu Joe Winner, Purzel, NGR Robinson, NGR Danzo, CJW, NGR Cutler, NGR E30, Big Les Kun. Yeah, I think it was, I'm not sure if he's in. I thought he was in Pro Lobby, but Sean Daniels. What? Prawn cocktail? I don't remember talking about crisps. So Pilgrim Paddy actually is in 10th and 11th in the Pro-Am. That's interesting. So we have got the Pro-Am lobby running live as well on Adey Gee's channel. As I say, Sport Freak, if you're listening, thank you for subscribing, appreciate it. I do always try and shout out the new subbers as and when I see them. Not everyone allows me to see that they've subbed. Let's just nip over to Adey Gee's channel, give him a thumbs up. Bit, bop. And they're currently still racing. Have a good race. It could be chaos in that lobby, and I'm just saying have a good race, but never mind. Well, unfortunately, CJW's missed the first race due to the update, so that's not going to be good. Right, let me not read the chat from Adey Gee's room. I'll be there all flipping day. GT Sport Freak. So new subscribers, if you're listening, send me an address to darksmoker@googlemail.com and I will sell you. I won't sell you. I will send you some stickers. What car do I drive in real life? Me, I drive a Golf GTI when I don't blow the engine up. The engine is currently sat in my garage broken because I drive it like a maniac. That's why. Read to above. Ah! Bob Bristow. Yo, Dark Smoker, what's your favourite crisp flavour? Ah, random questions, Bob. I like them. My favourite crisp flavour. Well, that's a tough one. Because I don't know if you know, Bob, but my job, even though I told you what my job is the other day, I work for the biggest crisp manufacturer in the UK. When I first started there, I physically made crisps in a massive grate fryer. That was my job. And then I learnt it all, and then I taught it all. That's what I do now, pretty much. Favourite flavour? Oh, I do like a prawn cocktail. I can't disagree with that. Now, love it or hate it, you know what's coming up. I quite like a Marmite. I don't want to hear no noise, right? That's me, not you. Yeah, I think it's probably it's either that one or what's the max flavour we do? Chili and lime. Or is it chili and lime? Is it that one? Oh, I can't even remember. We do so many, I forget. But yes, crisps. I like a prawn cocktail. Anything a little bit vinegary, salt and vinegar, Marmite-ish, tomato ketchup, quite nice. And yes, Golf GTI is what I drive. Mark 5, old school. What's sad? What's sad, Bob? Why are you crying? Let's change this picture for you lot. I'm sure you're fed up with looking at that. I'm fed up with looking at it, but I've got more than one screen to look at. Any more random questions, Bob? Yeah, the biggest crisp manufacturer in the world that I work for. Well, not the world. Well, it is the world. It is the world. Because in different countries they're called a completely different name. And they've only been kept as my crisps in this country because they decided that if they changed the name, people wouldn't buy them. So it looks like Moss is going to start race 2. That's good to see. We don't like it when people turn up and then just disappear. It's not good etiquette really, and it can affect the races a little bit with the glitching when they leave and enter and things like that. I suppose I could get sort of samples. What are we reading here then? He was the student and now he's the master. Yeah. I'm kind of a cheese and onion guy. Well, it is the nation's favourite, Bob. I'll tell you that now. But I love all of them apart from prawn cocktail. Ah. So you and Sean can't be friends then? Yes, I really work in a crisp factory, mate. Yeah, the biggest one. It's actually the biggest potato crisp manufacturing plant in Europe, the one I work in. I live in Leicester, so have a good guess. I'm sure you can work it all out. Mates with Gary Lineker, you know. Yeah, all of that. I'm not mates with him. I've seen him once. He didn't pay me no attention. But he is still our ambassador. Oh, sad for the broken Golf. Yeah, me too. I've got to buy a whole new engine for it. It's not repairable. It's broke. Like, literally broke. It feels like the crank is separated from itself. It feels that loose. I wouldn't like to comment, Sean, because they don't like anybody using their name for any kind of advertising at all. I've asked them for sponsorship for things, you know. I've said, look, give me 100 quid's worth of crisps or something, and I'll put your name on the cars. No, not doing that. Can't do that. Sod 'em. And I'm not necessarily saying you're right, Sean. I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong. So we've got a couple of minutes left. So Potter and Chewie having an argument about who's going to enter the race first. So we're still missing a driver. Who are we missing? Dangly Ball, Pav, Chrissy Raz, GT Deli, Louis, Potter, Moss. Marty VR's not in the room. I wonder if he's ducked out to try and sort his connection out. Yeah, it is a lovely car, mate. My mate said to me, he said, I'm glad you bought that car, because it's brought out the old me, the maniac that I was when I had my 205 GTI. Maniac in that thing. And the Golf's almost the same, it's just a little bit heavier. Not quite as throwable around the corners, but the 205 GTI, whew, whew. If someone said, I'll give you a 205 GTI and I'll take your Golf GTI of you, I'd swap in a second. It's not as fast as the Golf, but whew, what a bit of kit. It's literally hit a roundabout any speed you wanted. Any speed you wanted. Turn the wheel, it'll go round. It'll complain about it, but it'll go round it. Yeah, I love that thing. Funnily enough, I blew that up as well. In fact, come to think of it, at 45 years old, I don't think I've ever sold a working car. How about that? Okay, so we just are waiting for Marty to reset his system, try and get a better connection. Yeah, Bob, you can't afford anything but looking at cars at your age, mate. Look at some of the guys out on track trying to put the old hot laps in. As I say, it is reverse. Oh, we've got someone parked up. Chrissy Raz parked up the side of the track. A reverse grace rid for race 2. The top 3 from race 1 have to have extra weight added as well. And they have to fight all the way from the back. So we're just still waiting on Marty VR. I'm sure he won't be long. So now you know all my intimate secrets, Bob. Right, get on with your race. You're not crashed and you're not dead, Chrissy. Come on. And Bob, your 1.2 Clio, flipping it, £1,000 a year. Flipping neck. Ah, now you're dead, Chrissy Raz. Smashing into the wall. I do say in lobbies that give it 30 seconds past when everyone expects the race to start, and you will just see idiocy and burnouts. Louis trying to do everything he can to destroy the cones. Get off my bit of track, he's saying. MRC Bobby parked up. Somebody else trying to drift. Who's trying to drift Druids? Okay, it's Louis still smashing the hell out of it. Marty VR is in the room. That's good to see. So we are back to 11 drivers. Louis needs to stop smashing his car up now. So we just wait for VLX Chewy. There we go. Look, you see, donuts, burnouts, idiocy. Bob's gone for a picnic. So we're in. Potomac Pot has started race 2 of tonight. 24 lap race around Brands Hatch GP circuit. R80 racing. Evening, mate. Yeah, I think most people are good. Nobody's told me they're not. Right, let's hope everyone can keep all 4 wheels on the ground from this start. It's looking good so far. So Moss, who dived out of the last race, he starts on pole. Louis in 2nd, Bobby 3rd, Chrissy 4th, Dangly Ball in 5th, Marty in 6th, Pav in 7th, Philo in 8th, VLX Chewy in 9th, GT Deli B 10th, Potomac Pot at the back. So we'll stick with Moss 1984. The revs are up, the lights are on. Oh, might have been a bit of a false start. It wasn't from MRC Bobby, but he got the wheels spinning pretty damn quick and lost him a bit of traction. He is still in 3rd position. Moss leading him through. Louis in 2nd. Bob in 3rd. Chrissy Raz up into 4th. MRC Dangly Ball 5th. Taking the inside line into Druids. Got Pav 46 right behind him. Louis. Oh, so Louis and who's that? Moss 1984 getting inveigled with each other. Now at the back of the pack. Someone else has just driven off track. Who's that in the background? I can't even see at the minute. I'll come back to that, but Chewy and Marty VR fighting out for 3rd position currently. Chrissy Raz and MRC Bobby have managed to make a bit of a break. So they are 1.5 seconds out in front, the 2 BMW drivers. Can they keep it on track and keep the other drivers behind them? So VLX Chewy in 3rd, then Marty in 4th, putting them under some pressure. VLX Chewy having to go a little bit defensive already in this race. TNR Philo in 5th. Potomac Pot up to 6 already. Whoa, is that a stormer? Dangly Ball in, sorry, GT Deli B has just got past Dangly Ball into 7th. MRC Dangly Ball 8th. Moss 1984 in 9th. Oh, he's on the grass. That slowed him right down. So 9th place for Moss, 10th place for Louis, and Pav then sitting at the back of the pack. So a lot of work for Pav to do in these, well, 23 laps remaining now. Oh, bit of contact between himself and Louis there. Louis going a bit slow around that corner, and Pav just slammed into the back of him. That slowed him down even more. So he's a little bit too far back to make a move into Druids as well. So back up to the front then. MRC Bobby still leading them around. Chrissy Raz 0.3 of a second back. As they head into Surtees and up the hill. So both drivers out on the racing softs. As I say, they're starting with 70 litres of fuel. Both these BMW drivers looking very consistent at the minute, gaining more time over 3rd place VLX Chewy, 2.4 seconds that gap now. TNR Philo just about keeping it on track. VLX Chewy running a little bit wide through there, didn't compromise his lap though. So Marty still in 4th position, coming under pressure from TNR Philo now. Oh, Marty's got a wheel on the grass. Oh, and that's caused TNR Philo to smash into the back of him and lose pace. Off track, back on track, drifting the hell out of that BMW. Well controlled TNR Philo, 5th place for him currently. Potomac Pot right on his tail though, 0.8 of a second. Both of these guys in the pits holding damage, unfortunately. GT Deli B holding a little bit of damage, but he stopped out in 6th now that these 2 guys have gone in the pits. Pav's right on his rear bumper as they head through here. Pav makes a move down the inside, gets that position taken nicely off of GT Deli B. Up into 6th then for Pav, 7th for GT Deli B. Louis in 8th, TNR Philo 9th, Potomac Pot in 10th. Both of those drivers have just been in the pits due to damage. Moss 1984 down at the back of the pack in 11th. So back up to this fight at the front. It's neck and neck between Chrissy Raz and MRC Bobby. VLX Chewy losing a little bit more time to those guys. Oh, what the hell. Apologies. I dropped my keyboard. Oh, Chrissy Raz has been off track. All sorts of damage on Chrissy Raz's car. So luckily she's quite near the pits, but she's going to lose a couple of places before she gets there. You can see her struggling to keep that in a straight line at the minute. So that's unfortunate for Chrissy Raz, having a fantastic race at the start of this one. Right on Bob's rear bumper. But now holding all that damage. Down in 5th place. Going to lose a couple more positions here as well. So Moss, then Chrissy Raz down in 10th. Moss might even take that position off her, depending on how long she's in the pits for. So damage is repaired. She's taken on board more fuel. So I don't think Moss is going to get her, because Chrissy Raz is already out of the pits around turn 1. So 20 laps left for Chrissy Raz to try and make anything of this race now. The same for Moss 1984. So VLX Chewy up into P1. Marty VR P2. MRC Bobby P3. Dangly Ball P4. Pav in P5. Louis P6. GT Deli B P7. TNR Philo P8. Potter McPot P9. Chrissy Raz P10 and Moss 1984 P11. So VLX has got a good old lead, 6 seconds over Marty VR, 6.5. So it might have all fallen into VLX Chewy's lap tonight for race 2. 6.9 second gap now. Just tipped over the 7-second mark. MRC Bobby off track currently, just manages to keep it on track in front of Dangly Ball, but Dangly Ball, oh, I thought he had more pace than that. I thought he was going to get a nose down the inside into Surtees. He has got a good run up the hill. If he gets in the slipstream and off the grass, he might get this position done before Hawthorne's. Bob's making him go the long way round. Dangly Ball took him back out into the slipstream of Bob then. Oh, Bob's run himself a bit wide through there. Kept it on track. He's kept it... Has he? Yes, he's kept it straight. I nearly thought he didn't then for a second. And he's kept it in front of MRC Dangly Ball as well at the same time. Well controlled, Bob. He's still under pressure from MRC Dangly Ball in 4th though. Pav's not that far back either, 1.8, 1.9. Louis in 6th. Who's that just come in the pits? TNR Philo's just chucked himself in the pits. So fresh tyres, no fuel for him though on this one. Gone in on the racing softs. Sorry, gone in on the mediums, come out on the softs. So down in 8th place currently. It's got GT Deli B for company now. Don't worry GT, I've got your address mate. I'm going to send you some stickers tonight. Well, I won't, I'll post them in the morning, but you know what I mean. So Chrissy Raz down in 10th then. How far back? 6.7 seconds back from GT Deli. GT Deli B. He's holding a little bit of rear end damage. Shouldn't affect him too much. Chrissy Raz unfortunately losing a bit of time through there to GT. That's 1984 then, 7.2 seconds back from Chrissy. VLX Chewy then extending that lead, 8.3 seconds. So his closest rivals really is biggest worry on the track is this man here and this man here. And unfortunately, they both had incidents early on in this race. And had to come in the pits for damage. Potter McPot himself comes in for a fresh set of boots. Does he take on? He does take on a little bit of fuel. I think he's going to come out behind Chrissy Raz. No, I think he's just come out in front. Yeah, he's back out on track. Round turn 1 and up towards Druids. Chrissy Raz is just heading up towards Druids herself. I did mention stickers. Yes, I did. Send me an address to darksmoker@googlemail.com and I'll post you some out. So let's look for some action. Who's that? That's Bobby and MRC Dangly Ball. Let's go aboard for a bit of action with MRC Dangly Ball as he hunts down MRC Bobby. That Audi looking very twitchy on the back tonight. It's been twitchy pretty much all season. So what's that gap between himself? Or Bob's dived in the pit, so that's that fight over with. He's got 3rd place in front to try and hunt down now Pav. He's 3.6 seconds back from him currently. Pav's also holding a little bit of front end damage there. Possibly not enough to slow him down or compromise his lap. But yeah, the rear tyres on that Audi looking awful. Very equal on the Jag. Got TNR Philo. These are quite equal. I think these wear quite a lot more on the fronts as well on the BMWs. TNR Philo's got a fantastic run down here. He's got the inside line. He takes that position easily off of Louis into 5th then for TNR Philo. He's now 1.3 seconds back off 4th position, MRC Dangly Ball. Closing that gap down as well pretty rapidly. That's just over a second, 1.1. So Pav's all out on his own currently in 3rd. He's got about 4 seconds either side of him. Clawed in a bit of time over Marty VR though. So it was about 5 seconds. He's got that down to 3.7. So it might still be on for Pav. VLX Chewy comfortably out in the lead due to the first couple of laps incidents that happened. He was just able to sneak through all the chaos up into 1st quite comfortably for VLX. As I say, he is streaming his race from his perspective live on Twitch. That's Chewy F1. Go and give him a shout, a follow, a sub or whatever it is on there. So quite comfortable in this race at the minute. So Marty VR 9.9 seconds back from him. Lost a bit of time to Pav behind as well. That's down to 3.2 seconds. So even with that quite excessive tyre wear on the rear of the Audi, he's able to slowly close in on Marty VR. He's got that gap down to 2.9 seconds. We've got TNR Philo in 4th behind, 3.7 seconds back. Closing in slowly as well. Dangly Ball in 5th, 2.3 seconds back now. Again, the rear tyres on that Audi looking pretty broken. I'm going to check R80 Racing. I'm going to check. Don't see anything from you yet, mate. No, nothing from you. You have spelt Dark Smoker right, haven't you, R80? Dark Smoker with an A, not an ER on the end. let's just jump back up to the front and have a quick run through fastest laps. So, oh, VLX Chewy. Oh, VLX Chewy stuck it on the grass, spun it round, smashed it into the wall. He's holding all sorts of damage. It looks like he was coming into the pits anyway, any minute, possibly this lap or the next lap, but he will definitely be in now. That's unfortunate for Chewy. Nice big lead. That's all gone now as Marty VR flies past him into first. Pav 46 is going to take that position as well. TNR Philo is going to come past. So Philo's up into third. Then whereabouts is Louis? He just comes around the last turn now. He will probably take that place off of Chewy D as well. Potter McPot might even get past him, depending on how much fuel, etc., and the damage time. The time it takes to repair his damage. Apologies. So yes, Potter up into fifth. He's in a good place as well, Potter. Just out on the fresh tyres now. Half a tank, just under. The car will be quite light, quite fast. Be able to put the pressure on the guys in front. So VLX Chewy is back out the pits. Damage repaired. Fresh set of racing softs and half a tank. Scotland. That might be why the email's taking so long. But that's not what I asked you, RAE. I asked you whether you spelled Dark Smoker right. Because I know people have sent it to Dark Smoke at googlemail.com, whoever he is. But no, nothing from you yet, mate. Oh, VLX Chewy's had another incident while I've been looking for R80's email. Unfortunately, VLX Chewy has had another nightmare. He's left. So that was... I'm not sure if that was all his own doing. I didn't actually see any contact. I don't know whether anyone else was watching. I wasn't. I was trying to find R80's email. Damn it. So Pav then promoted to first position. TNR Philo into second then. Philo, as I say, championship winner last season. He's a fast guy. He does actually play on pad. And you won't believe it if you look how smooth he is. Only 0.2 of a second off of Pav in front. Pav has got no fuel left. His tyres are battered. So TNR Philo's just got to sit behind him for these last couple of corners. Doesn't have to make any stupid moves. He's although he won't know that Pav's got to come in the pits. He's not making any stupid moves, which is good. It could compromise both their races. So Pav sticking over to the right-hand side of the track there. I think just letting TNR Philo know he's coming in the pits. So TNR Philo then promotes himself to P1. He'll be in the pits in a couple of laps' time, though. So we are just over the halfway point in this race. Pit strategies are all over the place. And currently TNR Philo leading this one. Potter McPot up into second place then, 13.8 seconds back. His tyres are looking a lot better than Philo's, but he's in a very similar situation fuel-wise. Though TNR Philo's got about half as much as Potter. So Potter will be able to run a little bit longer if he wants to. Or he could risk it and come in the pits earlier, as TNR Philo does. Take on board slightly less fuel because he's got a bit more in the tank, which would save him time in the pits. Put him in a better place to attack TNR Philo later on. So Marty VR, who was second, currently third position, 8 seconds back. Pav's back into fourth with those fresh set of racing mediums. He's taken on board a shed load of fuel as well. Chrissy Raz back up into fifth, holding quarter of a tank. Reasonable racing mediums, but kind of out on her own at the minute. 7 seconds in front to Pav, 5.6 seconds back to MRC Bobby. So Bob's in a decent position as well. He's got plenty of fuel on board. Reasonable set of racing mediums as well. Dagley Ball been in, out on the softs. half a tank. GT Deli B looks like he went for a full tank and some softs. Louis went for 3/4 of a tank and a fresh set of racing mediums. And Moss looked like he went for a full tank and a fresh set of racing mediums. Okay. Thank you, Sean, for updating me and everyone else. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Chewy. He was having a stormer of a race. 10-second lead and then stuck it on the grass, span out. Lost all that time. Came in the pits, had it repaired, and then did exactly the same thing on his outlap. And now left the lobby. So his live stream won't be live streaming anymore, I can imagine. Unless it's just a live stream of him swearing into his microphone, possibly. So Pottermore Pot has closed that gap down. It was 13 seconds, it's now 12.8. So Philo's in the pits. Let's just see where Potter is. He's heading down the back straight towards Clark Curve. Does he stay out or does he decide to come in? He stays out as Potter. So he'll possibly get one more lap out of that fuel, maybe two if he's a bit frugal with it. So Philo back out the pits. So what's the gap? 3.2 seconds. He's gone for half a tank, fresh set of racing softs. Yeah, so Potter's fuel gauge turned red then. He will probably come in this lap. Losing time already to TNR Philo. That gap down to 2.9, 2.8 seconds. So Marty VR then 5.9 seconds back. That's just because TNR Philo slipped in the gap between Potter and Marty. So Pav still quite comfortable in 4th position. Fresh set of racing mediums, 3/4 of a tank of fuel. 9 laps remaining of this one. Chrissy Raz not having a bad race now, 5th position. She will have to come in the pits in a couple of laps time for fuel and tyres. She has got almost 12 seconds over Bob, who's now coming under pressure from GT Deli B and MRC Dangly Ball. Let's go for a bit of that as we on board with MRC Bob as he tries to fend off MRC Dangly Ball and GT Deli B behind. Oh, he's run himself wide though, Bob. Oh, he's managed to keep it in a straight line, but slowed the drivers down behind. Nearly smashing into the back of him, but Bob's had a bit of a nightmare trying to corral that BMW to his wanting. So he's still managed to keep a decent gap between himself and MRC Dangly Ball. Dangly Ball has got GT Deli B only 0.3 of a second back. So still managing to fend him off, keep that 7th place then. GT Deli B's got a good run out of turn 1. A bit far back to make any moves into Druids. Right on him then, trying to run around the outside. So still not managing to get past GT Deli B or Bob. So let's fire ourselves back up to the front and see what's going on. TNR Philo then, he's got back past Potter. He's not been in the pits, so Philo's done that on track. So Potter in the pits this lap. Gets into the pits cleanly, no collisions with the wall. So this is going to allow TNR Philo to disappear up the track a little bit. I wouldn't have thought Potter's going to put that much fuel in. So he's back out, half a tank, racing softs. 4th position. So he's 6 seconds back, 6.5 seconds back from Pav in front. As I say, Pav's in a good position, holding over half a tank and racing mediums. Tyres will be slightly slower than Potter's. They'll last an awful lot longer. Yeah, Potter dropping that gap then to 6.2 from 6.5, coming down even quicker. TNR Philo quite comfortable now, 10.4 second lead. Burning through that fuel quick though. Can't say things like that, R80. You don't know how sensitive our Bob is. Yeah, still no email from you either yet, mate. You might just want to check you've sent that to the right dark smoker and not some random dude who's not going to send you stickers. So it's dark smoker with an SMOKA on the end, not OKER. Everyone asks me why it's spelled that way. It's because some idiot stole dark smoker before I could get it. But that is definitely me. So TNR Philo extending his gap then, 12.7. Marty VR losing time to Pav behind. It was about 3 seconds. It's now 2.2. Potomac Pot closing him in slowly. He's currently sitting in 4th for Potomac Pot. MRC Bobby 5th. So, what's happened to Dangly Ball? Has he come in the pits? Yes, he has. Fresh set of racing mediums and half a tank of fuel. So, back up to this little fight. MRC Bobby in 5th. Trying to fend off GT Delhi B behind. Very similar on fuel and tyres, although racing mediums and Bobs are looking pretty battered now. GT Delhi's got a good run out of here. Does he make a move? He doesn't. He's a little bit too far back. Nice tight lines there for GT Delhi, keeping him bolted onto the back end of MRC Bobby. Just don't follow Bobby off track on this next corner. So we'll just stick with GT Delhi B, see if he can keep himself close enough to make a move on Bob down the start-finish straight. Yes, I can. I've got a... So MRC Bobby gone defensive. GT Delhi B gone for a bit of a look back down the inside, but Bobby's aware of him. Closes that gap. Let me put this in here. That's the one, Sean. Boom. There you go, mate. That's the one. GT Delhi B still not managed to get past Bob, then lost a bit of time to him now. Second back. And we've got Chrissy Raz not far back as well. She's just been in the pits. Fresh set of racing softs. And Fuel 7th place, but closing in on GT Delhi B now. Second that gap. So as long as she can stick within that slipstream range, she'll slowly but surely close it in on GT Delhi B. The gap down to 0.6 of a second. So Bob's got his work cut out now. He's got to try and fend off 2 fast drivers behind him. And his tyres are not looking pretty now. He's looking to run long though. There's just half a second between those 3 drivers there. Bobby's making it extremely difficult for GT Delhi B to get past. Chrissy Raz is making way through there, not quite managing to take advantage of that, but you can see she's right in the thick of it now, almost pushing GT Delhi B down the track. GT Delhi B must be cursing in that helmet. Bob, get out the damn way. You can see how loose that BMW is on the rear. So Chrissy Raz looking to make a move. Oh, it's almost 3 wide as they head down towards Hawthorns. Oh, I thought there was going to be a little bit of contact between Chrissy and GT Delhi there, and that could have been awful for both their races. So GT Delhi giving a bit of a flash of the lights to Bob, saying get out the way. Oh, Chrissy Raz has stuck a wheel on the grass just as VLX Chewy's done. Spun herself off track. She is pointing the right direction again now, and back up to sort of race pace. No damage on the car, thankfully, but lost all that time now to GT Delhi B and MRC Bobby in front. Although with Bobby blocking GT Delhi B from passing, that's only going to allow Chrissy Raz to close back in on them. Oh, GT Delhi B's doing a lovely manoeuvre down the inside of turn 1, taking that 5th position off of MRC Bobby. Oh, he's just run himself a bit wide through there though. Unfortunately, Bobby not able to make anything of it. So MRC Bobby pushed down to 6th then. Chrissy Raz only 2.3 seconds back from him as it stands. And 2.2 now, so slowly closing in 2 seconds. So it looks like Bob might have got it a bit squiffy coming out of Surtees. So gap down to less than 2 seconds between Chrissy Raz and Bob then. Slowly closing him in, 1.6 seconds. I've just flicked to Louis, he's now all out on his own. 8.3 seconds to Chrissy Raz in front. 15 seconds back to MRC Dangly Ball. Oh, we've lost another driver. Who have we lost this time? Have we lost that Moss again? Yeah, we've lost Moss in 1984 again. So let's just jump back up to the front. TNR Philo. It's got a storming lead. 22.2 seconds, although we will be in the pits this lap. There could be tears out of that little fight. It's all broken up a little bit now, but it was looking a bit tasty. So as I say, TNR Philo. How do you know where your indicator stalk is on that damn thing? TNR Philo into the pits. Pav 46 in 2nd place, 22.5 seconds back. He's a few corners back as well. And then Potter McPot's only 2.4 seconds back from him as well. So I think we're going to see Philo come out of the pits. He does, keeps that P1 position. Don't look at that 22 seconds, that will soon disappear. So it's down to 12, 11, 10. 10-second gap between TNR Philo and Pav then. So we are on to lap 23 of 24. Potter McPot up into 3rd position. So I think TNR Philo is going to be very difficult to beat in this one unless he throws himself into the wall. We have seen 1 or 2 drivers do it. No wonder I didn't get the email if you spell him praise like that. Well, you got it right, apart from you missed out the rest of the sentence. R80. Let me check my emails again. Let's go on board with TNR Philo. Not that view. That one. So into the sunlight then. He comes down the hill towards Clark Curve. Full power down this start finish straight then. R80 Racing, yes. Right, now how much are you going to pay me to not read your address out live on air? Huh? So round Druids then for the last time for TNR Philo. Putting in purple sectors as well straight away for Philo. He's down on fuel, he's got the racing softs on. Possibly looking to go fastest lap. He is already holding it currently with a 120.9. Another purple sector for TNR Philo. 13-second gap over Pav behind. He himself is coming under a bit of pressure from Potter McPot. Potter's less than a second back from Pav. So Pav's got to keep it ridiculously clean on this last lap or he might lose that position to Potter. 0.8 of a second that gap. We'll just stick with TNR Philo as he comes around the... Whoa, keep it straight. Oh, he's on the sand. Where's Pav? Oh, he's a bit far back. I think Philo's going to get it back on track just in time to keep that position. Yeah, so TNR Philo, very lucky there. Comes around the last corner, pointing in the right direction. Comes across the line. Are we going to get handbrake? No, we're not. So good race for TNR Philo there. First place for him. Pot putting pressure on Pav right at the end of that lap. Unfortunately unable to take the position, but third place for Potter, second place for Pav. Marty VR comes home in fourth position. GT Deli B going to come home fifth. Chrissy Raz right on his rear bumper is going to come home in sixth. So Bobby then looking like he might have chucked himself off track with those tyres, or possibly done a bit of fuel saving to get round, but allowed GT Deli B and Chrissy Raz to get past. So GT Deli B comes across the line. Chrissy Raz gives us a great big handbrake. Thank you. MRC Bobby then was leading this race for a while. Chrissy Raz in second. So Bob comes home in seventh position. Louis is going to come home with no fuel in eighth. Dangly Ball comes around the last turn then for ninth position. And as I say, we've lost two drivers from this one. We've lost VLX Chewy and we lost Moss 1984. That's a bit of a shame. We don't like that to happen. If drivers say they're going to enter, enter. Don't jump out just because it's not going your way. That's just the way it is. R80. Cracking race once again, lady and gents. I assume he's talking to you there, Chrissy. But yes, R80, I've got your address, mate. I'll whack some stickers in an envelope tonight, as with GT Deli B. Let's just have a look at the chat. Yeah. Yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed that. There was some cracking racing there tonight. There's a few spins. But yeah, Brands Hatch is renowned for that. There's a lot of runoff, plenty of grass to catch the old wheels on and spin you around, as we saw VLX Chewy do, we saw Pav do it, we saw Philo do it, we saw Bob attempt to do it, but manage actually to keep it in a straight line. Most of the time, anyway. So yes, that was round 4 of Next Gen's Team versus Team GR3 event. So there are 4 different sim racing groups. We've got Next Gen Racing, or NGR, we've got Mature Racing Club, or MRC, we've got SimFX, and we've got P1RC, or P1 Race Community. So 4 different sim racing groups battling this one out. Fully sponsored this season by TOR. Big shout out to Michael and Stuart for sponsoring this one. So TOR is Team Oliver Racing. Go check them out. I will put links in the description below to all of that. They are mental case truck racers. Give me the keys, damn it. I'll show you how to race that thing. Sideways and upside down with a bit of flame coming out of it somewhere. And not the exhaust. As you are on live chat, I have a T80 wheel and paddles for anyone that would like them. PM me and I will send it out. What, free of charge? Is that what you're saying? I'm sending stickers free of charge. You should send your steering wheel out free of charge. How about that? So there you go, peeps. Anyone looking for their first wheel setup? R80 Racing's got one ready to go if you're interested. Buy yourself a deck chair and you're in. So that's about another stream done. I don't know if you lot are going to carry on chatting, but I'm going to say what I usually say. So I have got tomorrow night coming up 9 o'clock. We've got P1RC's Renault Megane Trophy Cup. That's what you're saying. Okay, so yeah, R80 Racing then. Anyone wants a T80 wheel and pedals, give R80 Racing a shout, or hook me up and I'll get hold of him and we'll sort something out. We'll get it sent out to you guys. If it somehow comes to me first, or through me for the transfer of it, I'll whack some stickers in the deal as well. How about that? So yes, back tomorrow night for Renault Megane Trophy Cup. And then Friday for GTTCC. That's me behind the wheel. Full swearing, full cursing. No way near as professional as this. So come and check that out if you want a good laugh. You'll see me doing a lot of what people have been doing today. Spinning around, cursing, crashing into the walls, things like that. I do try my hardest, but I just don't get enough practice because you lot have got me commentating too long. That's who I'm blaming. Blaming you lot. Then Saturday off, and then we're back Sunday again for P1 boys with their Super Formula League. We've had a season rejig, so there was 2 lobbies, one every other weekend. Said plenty. It was Toyota's one week and Honda's the next, but there was a bit of confusion, so they've decided to cancel that season, if you like. It was only 2 races in, one Honda, one Toyota, and just amalgamate the league. So it's Toyotas and Hondas in one race Sunday night. So that's 9 o'clock Sunday. Come and check that out. Back Monday for Next Gen Racing Minis. That's always a good season. You'll see a few of the drivers in that, as you have done tonight. So that's Monday, and then back Wednesday for round 5 of this. I forget where next week is. It's looking like Suzuka Circuit, being as they're setting up a track for it now. So make sure you come and check all that out. Make sure you go and check out all the links as well. Like and follow all the pages and stuff and things. Go and check out the sim racing groups. All these links will be in the description below. Make sure you definitely go give TOR a like and a thanks and all the rest of it for helping us out, sponsorship, etc. And because they're bonkers and they race trucks. I'll put a link into Adey Gee's channel as well, as he send plenty. See you in chat. Yes, you will. Good stream. Thank you, Chrissy. Not a bad race for yourself. What was I talking about? I forgot. Chrissy's distracted me. I forget stuff. That's my lineup anyway. Coming up tomorrow for the P1s, P1 Renaults. Friday for me swearing. Sunday for the Super Formulas. Monday for the Minis, and Wednesdays for the GR3s again. As I say, it looks like we're from Suzuka next week. But that's about another stream done. As I say, I hope we've all liked what you're watching. Click the old thumbs up button on the video, please. It does help. All these comments do help as well. So the more you guys comment, the more likes. It's not all about subscribers. It's all about likes, comments, watch hours, stuff like that to try and bolster and push the channel. So all of that sort of stuff appreciated. As I say, any subscribers listening, or well, anyone nowadays really, send me an address to dartsmoker@googlemail.com, or chuck some stickers in the post, and you can stick them on your dad's head, or whatever you want. But yes, that's about it from me. Like, subscribe, tell your mates, tell your mum. My name's Dartsmoker. I'm out of here.